It wasn't until she saw her blind date that the girl suddenly realized in shock her blind date was actually the company's CEO. At that moment, the girl was extremely embarrassed, afraid the CEO would recognize her. Little did she know, the CEO had already recognized that she was the one who had poured water on him. It turned out that just a few days ago, the girl found out her best friend had been cheated on by her boyfriend. To take revenge for her best friend, she planned to teach the guy a lesson. So she grabbed a bucket of water and rushed toward the CEO, pouring it straight over his head. Then she ran away from the scene. After being humiliated like that, the CEO ordered his assistant to find the woman. He wanted to throw her into a water tank as punishment. But at that time, the girl, unaware of all this, was still happily chatting with her best friend. It wasn't until the best friend saw her ex-boyfriend getting close with another girl that she realized the girl had gone after the wrong person. After hearing her best friend's explanation, the girl realized she had made a huge mistake. If the surveillance cameras had caught her face, she'd be in serious trouble. Afraid that he might check the footage and come after her, the girl spent the entire day anxious and worried until she came to the company for a meeting. That's when her worst fear came true. She never expected that the company's new CEO was the very man she had poured water on. Thinking of this, she feared the CEO would recognize her, so she put on a disguise, but her behavior immediately caught the CEO's attention. He publicly scolded her, saying it was inappropriate to dress like that for a meeting. When the girl couldn't explain herself, her best friend stepped in to explain to the CEO. She said the girl was sick and didn't want to infect others, which is why she dressed that way. Hearing this, the girl began to act along, coughing non-stop to prove she was really sick. Seeing this, the CEO didn't want her to affect the meeting, so he let her leave early. After returning home, the girl was still discussing what to do with her best friend. But her friend told her not to worry, saying the CEO was far too busy to bother with her. But unexpectedly, the next day when the girl went to work, she ran into the CEO again. To prevent the CEO from seeing her face, she tried to flee but ended up falling to the ground. The assistant tried to help her up, but she refused. The girl just wanted to leave quickly, but unexpectedly, the CEO invited her to take the elevator with him. In the elevator, the girl accidentally overheard the CEO asking his assistant whether they had found the person who poured water on him. Hearing this, the girl immediately became nervous. When she learned that the watch ruined by the water cost $1 million, she got so scared she quickly left the elevator. After all, with her current salary, she couldn't possibly pay that back. While the girl was at a loss of what to do, her best friend said she had a solution. She then pulled out a flyer. It turned out to be about a mysterious rich bachelor looking for a wife online. Whoever successfully married him would receive a $1 million bride price, but the girl immediately thought it was a scam. She didn't believe it at all, but what she didn't know was that the flyer was actually printed by the CEO's grandmother to help her grandson, the CEO, find a wife. But the CEO thought that since he had just returned from abroad, he should focus on his career first. Seeing the way he and his assistant exchanged glances, his grandmother mistakenly thought her grandson didn't like women. Feeling misunderstood, the CEO shyly left using a meeting as an excuse. That night, while the girl was worrying about how to make money, she suddenly received a message saying she had been accepted into the rich bachelor's matchmaking event. The girl immediately thought it was a scam, since she clearly hadn't signed up. But what she didn't know was her best friend had secretly signed her up. After learning the truth, the girl wanted to give her friend a good scolding. But under her friend's persuasion, she ultimately chose to go for the $1 million. Meanwhile, the grandma, seeing the CEO refuse to go on the blind date, pretended to be sick to pressure him, even threatening to cut ties with him. With no choice, the CEO had to agree. When he saw the photo of the blind date his grandma had prepared, he immediately recognized the girl. So he decisively agreed to attend the matchmaking event. What the CEO didn't expect was that there was a long line of people attending the event, including men and even elderly people in their 60s. Seeing this, the CEO was completely stunned. To avoid seeing any more of these bizarre candidates, he directly ordered his assistant to bring the girl to him. And just like that, the unaware girl was brought in front of the CEO. When she saw that her blind date was her boss, she was completely shocked. To avoid being recognized, she had to pretend she didn't know him, but as soon as she opened her mouth, she gave herself away. After all, the man had never revealed that he was the CEO. Seeing that she couldn't hide it anymore, the girl admitted her mistake. She explained that she was trying to get revenge for her best friend, but had accidentally targeted the wrong person. That's why she had poured water all over the CEO. But the CEO didn't believe her. If they truly didn't know each other, then how did she know he was the CEO? Hearing this, the girl realized the CEO didn't know she worked for him. So, in order to keep her job, she lied and said she had heard it from someone else. After hearing that, the CEO didn't want to argue any further. He simply told her to pay him $5 million in compensation. Otherwise, he would call the police and have her arrested. Seeing that she had no money, the CEO offered her a deal. If she did him a favor, the debt would be completely erased. The girl immediately agreed, but she never expected the CEO to ask her to marry him. Once she came to her senses, the girl refused. But the CEO didn't give her a chance to back out. He said plainly that he only needed to deal with family pressure to get married, so he wanted the girl to pretend to be his wife. He gave her one night to think about it. Otherwise, he would call the police. But the girl already had someone she liked. She didn't want to give up on that person because of this, so she planned to confess her feelings. But just as she stepped out the door, she saw her crush already had a girlfriend. Seeing this, the girl was heartbroken, so she agreed to the fake marriage with the CEO. The next day, the CEO brought a contract to the girl. The contract was thicker than a book, and the girl was stunned. But thinking about how she wouldn't have to repay the money after the fake marriage, she decisively signed her name. To keep the CEO from finding out she worked for him, she purposely wrote a fake name. But unexpectedly, that very night, she had to work late at the office. Just as she was about to leave, she was stopped by the CEO, and it was only then that the CEO realized he had been tricked.